Can we turn this down? Thank you. Welcome back from lunch. Well, that is, if you manage to get lunch, because there's so many other things happening, but that's DLD. That's what it's all about. So, well, I hope you enjoyed your break and got a chance to recharge, because we're having a full program from now on. I mean, we already did, but it's going to get even better. We want you to be inspired, but not only by our community, but by our speakers as well. And our next speaker is a true multi-talent. He started as a DJ, but he's also created his own fashion label, and he's always experimenting with technology, art, and music. So he's a perfect fit for DLD. Please welcome Stefan Berghahn, who is much better known as DJ Dixon, and will tell us how he sees AI transforming the music business. Please come on stage, DJ Dixon. And to speak with DJ Dixon, we've invited back Marc Spiegler, a journalist and cultural strategist who led Art Basel for 10 years, among many other things, and who's also a very good friend of DLD for many years. Please join the stage, Marc. The stage is all yours.
Great. Thank you, Marc, and thank you also to Steffi Czerny and Hans-Ulrich Obrist, who brought me into this family. It's a real pleasure to be here again, and I like to say that normally when I do this kind of panel, you want it to have this kind of first date energy, like people meeting on stage, exchanging ideas for the first time. This is not a first date. Stefan and I have known each other for a long time. As friends, I've been behind the decks at lots of concerts he's done. We've talked about a lot of things. During the pandemic, when I couldn't do art fairs and he couldn't play concerts, he and I and a couple of other friends had an ongoing discussion about the future of music and what it would mean when technologies like AI, like virtual reality came in to play. So today we're gonna talk about three things. Where things stand now in terms of what it means to be a musician and what more being a musician means now than it did before. Secondly, we're gonna talk about how we've gone from albums to what I'll call nibble hits, and I'll explain that in a second. And then lastly, we're gonna talk about what kind of company needs to arise in this situation. So those of you who are looking for interesting ideas to fund, stick around for another 11 minutes. We're gonna reclaim a couple of minutes at the end. Stefan, tell us quickly what has happened in the last 20 years in the music industry, because I think it's important to get that perspective.
Yes, I would even start a little bit earlier with the rise of drum machines and synthesizers, which was for the first time the chance for instrumentalists to be multi-instrumentalists and not just play only one single instrument. And also at the same time it made non-musicians, gave them the possibility to produce music. While as a development of that, we saw the rise of digital tools, first as hardware, then as software. And this gave the musicians the chance to actually not just write the music or perform the music, but also to record it and produce it in a very efficient way. And I would say the last arrival was the arrival of a software that is allowing artists to even do the final step, the mastering. which at the end of the day means that a musician at this very moment is able to fully or finally produce a product by himself or herself and put it into the world.
So that's sort of where we were until relatively recently.
AI arrived, yes.
And now we have AI. And I think, but what's interesting is one of the great projects that came out of the pandemic was a project that Stefan did with the Fondation Spiegler. And I think that was interesting in a lot of ways, but I mean, one of the things we talked about was the production. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that to sort of set the stage.
I was invited to do a DJ show in front of, within the Fondation Spiegler, in front of the artworks there, and we convinced Sam Keller that we would rather rebuild the whole gallery in a digital space and use the artwork that is included in the gallery and me as an avatar to have a storytelling experience that allowed us to deconstruct the building by Lorenzo Piano, the artworks, and even me, my avatar that was in there, turn the gallery into a nightclub and then reconstruct the fragments that were there to achieve a different version of the Fondation Spiegler at the end.
So that parts of that project will appear behind us in a couple of minutes. I think one of the interesting things is you didn't do this by yourself. You needed a team, obviously. And can you tell us a little bit about what the team was like?
It was obviously digital artists and coders that were helping me to envision or to execute the vision that my partner in Transmoderna, Anna Ofak, and me had. And it became very clear that all of these very specific experts were not just doing what we were hired them or what we wanted to work with them on. Most of them were actually also not just producing CGIs, they were also producing music. And they were doing movies, and they were actually doing graphic design. So it became clear that all of them had a multidimensional approach to their work that I didn't experience like this beforehand. Or maybe we saw in Virgil Abloh before.
Yeah, I mean, Virgil was a very specific figure, but go a little bit deeper on that, because I think he's someone who at the time when he came out was unique, because he came out of art architecture, he ended up running Louis Vuitton, he was also a DJ, he worked across a lot of different fields. And at the time, a lot of people treated him like a dilettante, but I think now we see that it's more of a model for the future creator.
I do believe so, because he had this, coming from this architectural background, he had a very systematic approach to design, and he applied this approach to all the different fields that he worked in. And at that time, I didn't know, it wasn't there yet. So he was relying on experts to actually execute the ideas that he had. And I would say that with the arrival of AI now, everyone can become the builder of his own world. The world building aspect is very much trending right now, where you see that when you're a musician, you not just use AI to reproduce or make your work easier, which I think is what most of the artists are doing at this very point, but you soon will realize that it will allow you to go a step outside your expertise and apply your artistic visions to other fields.
So this all sounds great. You know, AI makes everyone able to produce a much broader vision of the worlds that they have in their heads without having to build huge teams or pay people lots of money. The problem in the music industry, however, is that an industry where you used to have hit albums, and then you had hit songs, and the hit songs usually had what was called a hook, like a moment that sort of got stuck in your mind and made the song a hit, and that hook was chosen by the singer or by the producer, or maybe by the record company. Now, you have, because of streaming, you have songs which are disembodied from the albums, and because of viral media platforms like TikTok, you have hooks which are disembodied from the songs. Many, many songs now become financial hits, not because people like the song, and often not even knowing the artist, but because for that particular moment in the zeitgeist, those 15 seconds, that nibble hit, is exactly what underlies every second video that you see on TikTok. And of course, TikTok's algorithms make it stronger and stronger. So we've gone, on the one hand, we have this moment where everything can be richly made. On the other hand, we have this moment where who's making the hits is kind of out of people's control. Like the hit belongs, the song belongs to the whole world.
I would say it's, I would have two answers to that. The first answer is the hits are actually not just done by the record company, not just done by the artist. The hits are actually done by the people using the music to create whatever they create with it. That's why TikTok is a creator-driven platform. And this is obviously out of your hand, but it already shows that people that are not interested in producing music, maybe use music, but in the future they are, and they have to actually rely on copyright regarding the music, but in the future they are not just able to produce their small videos, but they actually can produce the music that is included in the music. And this goes the other way around, because yes, there's hits made like this, but a hit is defined by, I don't know what it is, top 10, top 100, top 1,000, but there's 10 million other songs out there that are not hits, and that is high quality music in a lot of cases. And the people producing this are now able to build a whole world around that, what they envision. They are able to produce the cover, they're able to produce the video that is coming with it. They're producing this several moments that are needed to be created for social media. They're able to produce CGIs maybe in this, or integrate the music into a small video game that they're producing. This is on the horizon, this is coming. That's why I think it's very crucial that we don't look at it as AI is used to help within the process of making music. Yes, it is, but it's actually helping to add a world to what you're doing with the music. So world building is very crucial in the future.
And I should say later in the day, Holly Herndon will be up here with Hans-Ulrich Obrist talking about how AI can be used to make music. So stick around for that. We decided to focus much more on the business side of things. And so to recap, we have a situation in which AI allows people to make not just music, but everything that surrounds music. Videos, the merchandise that comes off of a musician's career, the mixes and the remixes, and you kind of put, you know...
Live shows.
Live shows, well, live shows as well. I'm waiting, I don't think it'll be too long before we have virtual backup dancers for big concert tours and that kind of thing. You know, it seems almost inevitable to me. But the question then is, how do we make sure that those of us who love not just the big stars, how do we make sure that these people thrive? How do we make sure that people are rewarded for their creativity at a moment where their product doesn't even stand by itself anymore, where the product is not, to use a cooking metaphor, it's not a dish that's served, it's an ingredient which is then mixed and remixed like the sourdough starter or something. So the question is, what is the company that's needed for the future? And we, to be honest, like we were workshopping this last night, you know? And Stefan talked to me about a really interesting company, A-Slice. Maybe you can explain what A-Slice does, because I think it's the beginning of a model.
A-Slice is a company that is artist-driven, in this case by DJs that decided that they're playing a lot of music, but the music that was, the IP that was on the publishing that was involved in this and that would be actually should be delivered to the artists that they are playing is never ever delivered. And facing this problem, they realized they produced software, AI-driven software, that is able to recognize all the songs that I'm playing, songs that are not even out yet, so that they're not in an existing system. And my contribution to this is that I'm handing over small fees to all these involved artists that the software is actually reminding me of, and the software is streamlining the whole process to deliver the money to the artists.
So this, I think, is a good model. And as we were thinking about it, we were thinking, okay, so the company that we need in this moment does something like what A-Slice does. It automatically recognizes the different sources, materials that are being used in a particular creative moment, like a DJ set, but also because, as Azim Azar proved yesterday on the stage here, technological progress is going to make everything cheaper and faster. And so we have to assume that VR and AR will be the next thing that comes after CGI videos that are made by people for a song that they love. So we think that the company of the future in this is going to do what A-Slice does, not just for music, but also for video. And it will have to incorporate a deep involvement with AR and VR. And this is what's missing from Instagram and TikTok, it will have to really have to reward creators. So basically, it's AI times a slice times OnlyFans. That is what needs to happen. You need to create a company which allows people to be rewarded not for their creation of a single product, but for the creation of all the elements that go into many, many, many things down the road.
Yeah, I would say from an artistic point of view, it's about building a team around you that is able to distribute what you are doing, because this is a problem at the moment. Everything is so fractioned that if you build a world, where do you deliver these parts of the world to? How do you achieve money with this? So I'm not sure if we need an artist needs a record company in the future, not even a publisher in the future, because all of these entities are so fractioned that they will not help with future products. And on the same side, as you said, from the platform perspective, if we want to produce a world, who is actually displaying this world? In what way can I, as an artist, really have a platform that is showing the whole range of what, as an artist, I'm producing?
So what is the answer?
It's, I would say that actually TikTok is step 1 to maybe 6 steps.
Yeah.
And the combination of these fractions that are there is the answer. And you described this.
Right.
Already.
Okay, we're officially at 000, but I'm going to ask you one question and you have 30 seconds to respond. How do you, looking at the influence of AI on actual music, feel as a musician and as a music lover? How do you feel about this moment?
It's the first time in maybe 20 years that I'm actually really happy to see music arising that is completely new to my ear, and because it's a choreographer can actually write the music to the piece that they envision at this very moment. And the same goes for a graphic designer. He can produce the music that goes best with the visuals that he's producing. And often that leads to results that I was not used to. And being around for quite some while, if something is there that I'm not used to, it's usually a good sign.
Good. Let's end on that note. Thank you so much.
My friends, this is DLD, and I met in the break Frederick from Algorithmic. Are you here? Where are you? Frederick? You should have. He's one of the best DJ software producers I ever met.
Frederick,
I
come
don't.
on. We're over here.
Where is he? Frederick. Here he is. And you definitely should meet. Come on stage a minute.
Okay, it's live networking, people.
Yeah, here. Frederick, what are you doing? What are you doing, Frederick?
We make DJ software for everyone, from people who want to use it just for fun, all the way to people who play with it in front of tens or hundreds of thousands of people, and on any platform that you want to use. Like you can use it on your phone, on your computer, on glasses, on VR or AR glasses. So wherever you want to use it, however you want to use it, just coming from the realization that it's fun to DJ, to interact with your own music, and to create music.
And you should connect.
Cool.
You should connect.
Okay, we'll go over there.
I think it's important.